Hello, my name is Sabrina. During the last 7 years, I've been improving the performance of the websites of clients of my clients. As I'm a performance engineer, I was working as a contractor for different WordPress development agencies. Over these years, there were a lot of interesting projects. For example, one client had an online store selling precious metals. They couldn't use caching because their prices on the website should be updated every few minutes. This is essential for their business. So I had to find a way to make their website fast without caching. Another client had a store selling downloadable products, and it was very important for them to prevent customers to buy the same product that they have already bought again. WooCommerce allows you to do this, and they used the regular way that WooCommerce does this. At first, the website was crashing every now and then came Black Friday and it stopped working completely. This store didn't have a lot of clients, around 2,000 only, but about a third of these clients had more than 300 products bought. Every time a customer opened a product page, WooCommerce was retrieving all their previous orders and then all the products in those orders to match it to the current product and to give the answer if this product can be bought by this customer or not. Normally, this process works fine, but in this case, it turned out a nightmare for this customer. The site just wasn't able to handle these requests, and there was a need to find a more performant way to do the same thing than WooCommerce suggests. And I did it. Another client had a news website with over 12 million visitors per month. Over the years, they've built a huge amount of posts on their website. Their database was huge, and also they needed a lot of storage to handle all this media attached to every single article and to store it. This is a normal situation for the news website. But their problem was that the most part of this news became really old news and didn't bring any use to anyone, as no one was visiting those old news. Only a small fraction of the posts that they had on the website was bringing the main amount of traffic. All the rest was just sitting there, eating up space on the hard drive and consuming resources of the memory and server. I built a plugin for them that runs every day. It pulls data from Google Analytics, checks every post, and sees if this post has 0 visits during the last 30 days. It deletes the post and the related media from the server. The very first time we ran it, the website size was reduced 4 times. And after that, the plugin was running the same process every day, cleaning up new findings, old posts that were not receiving any traffic during the last period of time, and kept the site lean. These all were very interesting projects, of course, and they gave a lot of merit to the performance engineer, to me. But these types of projects is not what is making difference at scale. They are beautiful for case studies and for showing off and as examples for other cases. But it was just one client at a time. One challenge, one fix, one website saved. That's why today I want to talk about something else, about something very different. I want to talk about the boring stuff. No huge problems, no panic moments, no dramatic we need to fix it right now. The type of work that doesn't bring a round of applause. But as I noticed, exactly this type of work brings the regular, stable, good income for WordPress development agencies. I want to talk about the system approach to the performance, because this is where the things really change. Not for one website, not for one client, but at scale. When a WordPress agency chooses to make a performance a key part of their business, something shifts. Instead of putting out fires, they prevent them. Instead of fixing one issue at a time, they make hundreds of websites better at once. And those websites reach thousands of users in different areas. And here is an unexpected part. There is where agencies make the most money. Because when the performance is built into their service, everyone wins. The websites run faster, they are stable, predictable, and convenient for users. The SEO and funnels work better. So the client earns more, and the agency earns more as well, and does it in stable, recurrent, predictable way. Right now, I see a big gap between what market needs and what the offering from the WordPress development agencies is. I see a lot of agencies ignoring performance, and they lose money doing this because their clients are losing money. They do not get clients that they potentially could have gotten. They do not have good positions in Google. They do not have the good conversion rates that they would have had if their performance was good. And they are overpaying for hosting. Their websites are slow, frustrating users, and killing conversions and revenue in the end. On bigger scale, the internet as a whole is wasting resources. Websites consume way more energy than they need to just because they are slow and inefficient. I'm making this video because I believe that WordPress development agencies have the power to change this. I believe that this change lays in the hands of WordPress development agencies and their strategy. By making performance a priority, they can help their clients to succeed, provide better user experience to the clients of their clients, and in the end, make a web a better place. And yes, make more money for themselves. In this video, I'll show you 5 different models that WordPress development agencies use to make money from performance optimization. There might be more ways, there definitely are, but I will only be talking about my own experience. These are the models I've either worked on when they were already there, or it was me who helped creating these models for WordPress development agencies from scratch to implement performance approach into their existing process. While I won't be sharing any names and numbers, obviously for privacy reasons, I will be showing exactly how each of these models work and how they bring in revenue. You will learn how WordPress performance agencies turn performance works into stable, predictable source of revenue. These strategies can be easily replicated by other WordPress development agencies, and I hope that this video will help you to implement one of these models in your agency. The models are different. Some work better with new clients, others with existing clients, and I will be going step by step for each model, describing the ideal client and the conditions that WordPress development agency itself should have to be able to implement this model. Why this all matters? Of course, because the agency can get more revenue. But why they're getting more revenue? By providing better service to their client. Why their clients are making more revenue? Because they're providing a better service for their clients. And this makes web a better place for all of us, as all of us are users of all these websites in the end. I believe this is a question of time when what I will be talking about in this video become a normal and standard approach in WordPress development agencies. If your agency right now is not making money from performance improvements, you're leaving money on the table while others don't. Okay, let's dive in and see how you can change this. Which model or which models would be suitable for your agency depends pretty much on one thing only. It depends on how much control do you have over the client's website. We all know there are different types of clients. There are types of clients that just want their website to work, to be stable and to work, and they don't make usually a lot of changes to their website. They just want it to be fast, stable, easy to manage and to be there to work. And they're happy to give you a lot of control over their website. And there is another type of client that have their in-house development team, or they have marketing team that experiments a lot with new plugins, new contact forms, new sliders, new landing pages, new appearances, new themes. And this is their normal way of handling the website. In this case, you don't have that much control over the website, and you have to adapt to their way of doing things. So in these models that I'm going to describe, some of them would work for both types of clients. Some of them would work only for those where you have a lot of control and a lot of trust from the client to do what is better for their website. And some models, they can be applied in both cases. Well, model number 1. This is how I work with my direct clients, and this is how the agency that I used to work for that specializes in performance work as well. The offer is we make your website pass Core Web Vitals. The process is the following. You do the audit first for the flat fee And then based on the results of this audit, you are able to see if this is possible to make this website pass Core Web Vitals without huge changes in its structure, because sometimes it is not possible. During the audit, you identify the issues that this website has. You can see the system from inside and identify how much time and work would it take to fix those issues. And based on this, you can make an estimation how much it would cost for the client so that you do this work, so that you optimize this website to pass Core Web Vitals assessment. During the audit, you have access to Google Search Console to see what exactly is not passing Core Web Vitals. You can see, is it desktop, is it mobile, is it largest contentful paint, which is the speed, or it's CLS, which is the stability of the picture, or it's input first delay, which is interactivity. And there in Google Search Console, you also can see the groups of URLs, basically the templates that are causing issues, because as different pages, for example, post, news, products, they all have different templates. One group might be passing and another group is not. So you would have the information which group you need to work on to make this website pass Core Web Vitals. And then with the access to the client's website, you can see how these groups are handled, what is there in the theme or in their custom theme, or which plugins are used on those pages, and what is exactly the issue that is preventing them to pass Core Web Vitals right now. And then, knowing this, you can plan the steps to make their website pass Core Web Vitals. And knowing the actions that you need to take to make the website pass Core Web Vitals, you can estimate the effort, the work that is needed to reach this goal. And after the audit, after you have the estimation, now you are making an offer to the client that to pass Core Vitals for their website, this will be so much work, so much hours, approximately, obviously, and this will cost such and such. What are the good candidates for this model? The good candidate for this model is a website that already has clean, performant theme and doesn't have any deep structural problems. The issues that are preventing website from Core Web Vitals are mainly front-end related. If there are back-end issues that prevent this website from passing Core Web Vitals, they should be well localized. For example, you see the issue with the server configuration, or the issue is coming specifically from one single plugin, or the server performance is bad because of the lack of security, because there are brute force attacks or something like this. But you should be able to localize these issues during the audit, and if the issues are mainly front, this is a very good candidate for this model. So in the end, you have the understanding that with reasonable amount of effort, say around 20 hours of work, this website can pass Core Web Vitals with your help. I'll talk about bad candidates for this model in a second. But first, let's talk about the pricing model here. One pricing model for this service might be best effort model, where you do the best that you can with no guarantees, which seems like a safer option for web development agency, but not that attractive for the client. And there is another model, the guaranteed passing of Core Web Vitals. Guaranteed is relative, as no one can really guarantee that the work that you do will bring you where you want to be. But if you are confident in the level of work that you can provide, you can take a risk on yourself. This is how I work, for example. You can take part of the payment for the performance optimization, and the second part you are taking after the website passes Core Web Vitals. There is a catch though, and there is time to wait. As Core Web Vitals have the time to update during 28 days, after you do the performance optimization work, it's 28 days after you see the result of your work. So it's important to put this into the contract and demand that the client doesn't make any significant changes to their website during this period. And then there is a continuation for the recurrent income for this model. You offer the client to pass Core Web Vitals, and then you offer the maintenance service where they pay every month for you to maintaining these results. But this part, if you want to do it or not, very much depends on the type of client that you have. We all know there are different types of clients. There are clients that just want their website working and they don't have a lot of activity normal on the website. This is a good candidate for the maintaining service. But there is another type of client where they change things often. They try different marketing tools. They change their sliders, for example, their contact forms. They change a lot of things on the website. And in this case, you should think how would you price the maintenance in this case. In general, the more control you have over the client's website, the easier it is to build your work around the performance. I'll talk about the model where you have a lot of control over the client's website and you really can maintain their good results with little effort. I think this is a very good model. It's the best model that I've seen for WordPress development agencies, and I will talk about it later. So let's get back to this model that we're talking about right now. What do we do if during the audit you discover that this client is a bad candidate for this service, for Core Web Vitals optimization? If you see that the website has underlying serious issues in the structure, in the architecture, they have a very bloated theme or custom theme that wasn't maintained during the last 5 years, or they have, in general, a big amount of issues that would take quite some time to fix for them, and this is really a lot of work. What do you do in this case? In this case, you can move to the next model and propose to these clients the entire website rebuild. And the offer is, we rebuild your website to make it functional, lean, and performant. In most of the cases where the client has a lot of issues or one big issue with their general architecture, they do know about it. And they actually do want someone to come in and build a new, performant, modern, convenient website for them. And then you build a new website for them. One of the WordPress agencies that I worked with does exactly this. They built the new website for the clients that look exactly like it was looking before without redesign, but with lightweight theme, with the clean code, with optimized images, with everything lean and clean and simple. And this is their offer. And then it's very easy for them to manage all their clients' websites as they repeat using the website builder that they use usually, the plugins that they use usually for most of the clients. This approach lets you sell the full rebuilt project with performance as a core selling point. What are the key benefits here? Key benefits: big project, big money, but also it's long-term clients relationship. Usually these clients, they don't want you to build the new website and leave them alone. They do want the ongoing maintenance and your support in the future, which will provide you high-ticket project once and then steady income during years after. One of the agencies that I worked with only does one thing. They provide only one service. They fine-tune WP Rocket for their clients. I'll be talking here about WP Rocket, but this can be applied to any other plugin for performance that you consider gives the best result. I personally love WP Rocket, and I love this plugin not because I was a part of the team. I loved it before and I love it now, and I'm using it in almost every project that I do. It's very functional, it's super flexible, it works very well for most of the cases. But there is a catch though, because WP Rocket gained so much popularity, a lot of people get wrong impression about WP Rocket. They think that just by installing this plugin, it would make their website faster. And yes, sometimes it really does. But this is not the worst case. The worst case is where they think that after they install it, they should check every box there, and that would make their website faster. And this is a big mistake, though of the simplicity with which it is built. It's a very powerful and really complicated tool. And oftentimes, after people do this, after they install WP Rocket and check all the boxes, they get their websites slower than it was before. Or they get conflicts on the website, something is not working, mobile menu is not opening, slider is not functioning as it's supposed to. Why? There are different wonderful features in WP Rocket. For example, preloading. This is a great idea. How usually the cache is built? To build the cache of the page, there should be a real visitor who comes to your website, sees the uncached version of the page, served from the server directly, and after this first visit, the cache is built so that the next person that comes to the same page, and if the page hasn't changed, they see the cached and performant version of your website. This is how cache works. What WP Rocket does with its preloading feature, it imitates the visit of the person to this page and saves the cached version of the page on the server, so that when the very first visitor will come to this page, they will get the fast performant cached version from the page without requesting those resources from the server. And also through WP Rocket, it is possible to do the same thing for logged-in users, as this is a rare thing to do. Many other caching systems, they don't provide this possibility to serve the cached content to logged-in visitors, and WP Rocket does this with preloading. This is beautiful, but with this feature, for example, this is very resource-greedy feature. And oftentimes, when people enable it, and when it's not suitable for their website, it consumes a lot of resources from the server. It consumes a lot of CPU from their server. It might consume a lot of space on the hard drive. It depends on the website, yeah? There might be times out triggered by this feature because their website is rather suffering from this feature than benefiting from it. And this is not that rare. For some websites, this feature is absolutely wonderful, but for others, this is a disaster. This is just one example, but it goes with every feature of WP Rocket. For example, someone sees this feature to serve only used CSS on the page. This is a beautiful idea. We are not loading the kilobytes and megabytes sometimes of data that is not going to be used on this page. We are only loading those styles that are actually used on this page. But again, this feature may cause problems. It also resource greedy, and also it might introduce conflicts with CSS files where you have your beautiful website looking weird because of this feature. And the same goes with delayed JavaScript and others. This is not because the feature is good or bad. This is because it's not tuned properly. It's not configured properly for this exact website. So this agency, they devote themselves solely to do this one service. They optimize and fine-tune WP Rocket for your website. And they're doing very good with this one service that they provide. They are really experts in WP Rocket and configuring it and understanding how it works and how to use this tool for the benefit of their client. And let's not forget, this is, with all my respect and love, WP Rocket is just one of the tools that you can be using to optimize performance. This is a wonderful tool, but there are cases where it doesn't give the most benefit, and you should use another tool to optimize for this particular case. So what this agency does, they provide two types of service. One is one-time configuration of WP Rocket, and yes, another one is maintenance. And their clients are happy to pay for maintenance as well. Why? Because when you configure WP Rocket in the perfect way today, the website won't be the same tomorrow. Even if you don't change anything at all, the things that you don't control, they do change. We'll start with the simple. WordPress updates, plugins updates, themes updates, yeah? But then it's also changes that are happening on the side of the server, on the hosting, changes that are happening on the side of CDN if you are using it, or on the side of the service that you are using to serve images, for example, CDN or reverse proxy like Cloudflare. There is a website about travel destinations in Spain that makes living with ads. Nothing has changed on that website during the last 3 months, and they were passing core vitals normally, both on desktop and mobile. And then all of a sudden, One day they noticed that they are not passing Core Web Vitals assessment for cumulative layout shift on mobile. What has happened? The ad network that they were using changed the way the ads are served. And this change impacted the mobile menu on the website. And the mobile menu wasn't working the same way as it was working before and as it's supposed to be working. So Google registered there is a cumulative layout shift on their website that wasn't there before. And now the website is not passing Core Web Vitals assessment for this. So we need to make changes and configure WP Rocket properly, specifically use CSS and delay JavaScript features to make these two guys, mobile menu and ad network, play nicely together. And this is just one example of the issues that might be arising during the maintenance period. Another client of mine, they have the network of the websites for food bloggers. And this is a very common event there. That the website that was passing Core Web Vitals assessment yesterday is not passing today because something has changed in the way the ads are served. And they need to adjust settings of the tools that they're using, the theme, and to fix those changes so that these new changes from ad network wouldn't affect their Core Web Vitals assessment. And usually it's CLS, cumulative layout shift, that is impacted by changes from ads network. If you do not do any changes on the website, it doesn't mean that the website stays the same as it was before. It does change. You just don't know about it, but it does change. So there are two services that you can offer here. One-time service of optimizing, one-time setup and optimization of WP Rocket, and later monthly maintenance of the results to ensure that WP Rocket is configured in the best way possible, in the most beneficial to the client's website way, always. This gives you a one-time project and then it gives you steady income during the months while you are keeping their website in good health condition with WP Rocket or other plugin if you prefer Perf Matters or others as a tool of your choice. Model number 4. Core Web Vitals as a part of SEO optimization. One of my clients is SEO agency that specializes in improving rankings for travel blogs only. They know this area very well. They know what visitors expect from this website, how to provide the best experience, how to organize content on the website, how to do the keyword research in the best way for this topic, how to form the best semantic core for these types of websites, how to build domain authority for these websites, which advertisement and affiliate systems to use. What they do not specialize in is performance, but all their clients are passing Core Web Vitals. They contacted me a few years ago, and we optimized in bulk all their clients' websites to pass Core Web Vitals. This was a big chunk of work for a few months, but after they all were optimized and in good performance condition, they only needed to maintain it, meaning that we are monitoring all Core Web Vitals for all websites all the time, and when something is not passing, which is normal, we dedicate some time, little time, to correct this. Core Web Vitals optimization now is a part of their initial setup for all their new clients. They do it as a part of the technical SEO audit that they do before doing any SEO optimization works. Just as setting sitemaps, configuring robots.txt, setting up titles and meta descriptions, all this normal stuff for technical SEO, they are doing Core Web Vitals optimization as well. And they do not have any dedicated specialist in their team to do so. And though in the beginning they invested in performance optimization much more than their clients paid them for 1 month, the ROI is totally worth it for them, as they do not need to do much now for performance of their clients' websites, and also they have this bottleneck excluded from the equation. They know for sure that if there are issues with SEO with their clients' websites, it's not because of the performance. So they do charge their clients monthly for their SEO package. And the Core Web Vitals optimization is a part of their initial work for each client. So yes, model number 4 is performance as a part of SEO services. While this is so obvious, a lot of SEO agencies, up until now, separate performance from their normal process, while it should be a base where performance optimization is a part of technical SEO audit, like this web agency does. If you already provide SEO services, you should include performance in your offer. And yes, charge for it monthly, even if you don't have a dedicated expert in your team now to work on this. Performance is a really growing market, and most likely you would be able to find a contractor that you would be happy to work with. What are the good candidates for this type of service? The good candidates for this type of service, for SEO service in general, is where they already have good, attractive content, but they just need a little bit of push from the technical side. This is a great find if you have a client with good content already, and all you need to do for them is to help them to put that content in front of their audience more efficiently. Another client I worked for specializes in optimizing funnels for their clients. And they do it in a very interesting way. They don't charge a flat fee, but they charge a percentage of the money that they are able to generate for their clients. This is quite a risky model, all right? But also it's very exciting to work like this. And it's very easy to sell this model to the client. But there is a catch. You have to sell this model to the right clients. What are the bad candidates for this model? Obviously, the good candidates are those that are using WooCommerce and that rely heavily on online sales. But what are the bad candidates for this model? The bad candidates would be where they do not have a lot of income traffic on their websites. So in opposed to this, a good candidate for this model are the websites that have a strong product and they do have a lot of interest to their product, so that there is a lot of traffic coming to their website from SEO, from ads, from social media, from whatever source. But they do not convert well this traffic. So this agency is setting up the entire funnel for them and optimizing funnel on each and every stage. And they do optimize performance for each and every stage. So for landing page, it would be front-end optimization mostly, as you want your landing page to be loaded very quickly, right? But then for cart, for checkout, and these are two different pages with two sets of different things loading on each one, there is another performance optimization coming in. It's mostly back-end optimization. And then for the server to handle all these processes of the orders, of the dashboard, this is back-end optimization as well. They dedicate a lot of time to optimize each and every step for their client's website. And they are really experts in funnel building. But performance plays a significant role in optimizing these funnels for their clients' websites. This is a part of user experience that they deliver to raise conversion rates on each and every step of the process. So how they do it? They first do the audit of the existing funnel of the client to identify the drop-off points and where the client is losing conversion on each and every step. And then they approach every step separately and optimize every step separately. And obviously, this is not one-time thing. They provide it as a recurrent service. After they optimized the funnel in the best way they think is possible at this moment, then they track the behavior, test changes, try another approaches, but always keeping in mind the performance, the actual website performance on each and every step of the process. So this agency I'm talking about, they are using the performance-based pricing, performance in terms not of website speed, but performance of the funnel. They charge based on the conversions improvements. But I guess that the model where you charge flat fee for optimization for speed and conversion might work as well. I just don't have experience to talk about this model. And this is a service that is very easy to sell to the clients. They understand very well that the better funnel works, the more sales they make. A smooth and fast buying process reduces friction and boosts revenue. But also for the agency, it's easy to stand aside from other agencies by building in the speed into their funnel proposal. For this model as well, if you are already specializing in improving funnels, You don't need to be specialist in performance. You can contract one. But the level of this contractor should be seriously high, because with funnel optimization, there are very little repetitive tasks, as every step of the process for every single client will be different, and the performance engineer should really know their work in and out. Now, I would like to show you 3 more models that work very well for the new clients. But for these models, you do need a strong development team. And also, I would like to show you the model, the very best one in my opinion, that works very well for those agencies that are eager to build their offer and entire business around performance. And as what I have seen, this is the most successful model that lets you provide the most value to the clients. It's easy to maintain this model. It's easy to get clients for this model. In general, the model is more beneficial for all parties included, for the agency, for your clients, and for the clients of your clients. This will be the 10th model, my favorite. And I will be talking about all this in another video. Right now on the screen, you should have the link where you can get the entire video with 4 more models, even better than these ones. How WordPress development agencies are making stable, recurring, predictable income with performance works. And the 10th model, which is my favorite. I think that we will see more and more agencies implementing this 10th model in the future. Well, if you would like to see all the models I was talking about in the written form, in the form of table, I have that prepared for you. The link where you can get the table should be on the screen right now. If you are already working like this or using one of these models, share your experience in the comments. I believe that these things, they should be spread. And I don't think that we should be afraid of making more competitors by sharing this information. Because if we provide more value to our clients and make their websites faster, leaner, more performant, this makes the user experience for their clients better. And a web, a better place in general for all of us. Just one agency or one performance engineer cannot make a huge impact. But if we share this information, and there are more WordPress agencies that focus on performance and make performance as a core of their business, we really can do a big impact on our revenues as agencies, on the client's revenue, on user experience for users, on web. And also this way, we really can reduce the amount of resources that we are using for internet. When you have a lot of clients, it's always a question how to organize this technically in the convenient way, not to waste time to access the FTP of every client or dashboard or settings in the third parties, how to track core web vitals for all clients at the same time automatically, how to organize all this information. Well, I'm going to make another video where I will show how the agencies I work with do this. The Notion template that I use to organize all the information for all clients, the links that let you access the FTP of the client with one click, the links that let you open hosting dashboard with one click from the Notion template, how we monitor core web vitals on mobile and desktop for all clients in the Google spreadsheets. So this technical part of setup, I'm going to make another video about it. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, or even better, follow me on Twitter, as surely I will post there when I have this video ready. Well, for now, this is it. I'll see you soon. Cheers. Goodbye.